Anyway, Mare of Easttown, since we're talking about it, I just finished it today, 2 days late. So it's probably a good thing we did this episode now because I didn't even watch it until this
I watched
morning.
it Monday. I'm not going to lie.
Damn.
Basically the past 2 days. So I'm actually here to comment on it this time.
I'm so excited for Jake. I
know I'm excited too that Jake watched it, honestly.
I guess, Jake, what are your thoughts? Yeah, what are your thoughts on what did you do? You skipped to the 5th episode?
Well, I watched that with my parents last night because my parents have been watching it.
Oh, okay. So they were...
And so then I watched the other ones by myself, and then the last 2 when I was talking to you. So I watched them like out of order, basically. Not entirely, but the first episode was episode 5. So
that's okay.
What did your parents think of it?
Well, they like, my mom is super into all this shit, but they're also big fans of like crime drama and like drama in general. So they're into it. My dad, I think, is finishing it right now.
But sick.
She's probably super hyped. There's did you watch the documentary The Staircase?
Yes.
With the owl?
The Staircase it's the epitome of true crime documentaries.
Yeah. So they're making it like an actual, a limited series out of that. I think it's a limited series. I could be wrong. Anyway, yeah, it's because it's for HBO. They just hired the girl from Game of Thrones.
Cool. So fuck Mare of Easttown, then we're not going to talk about it.
I'm sorry. Well, it's HBO Max. Anyway, so yeah. So Jake, what did you think about the final episode?
Well, I got the benefit of watching the 6 and 7 in a row. So I didn't have to deal with any like week of forgetting things and knowing because we've been doing this now. Yeah, I thought the setup of it was brilliant. The whole way that they did, I mean, not 80% of that episode is just like films like an aftermath episode, and that like last 20 minutes was just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like for both Mare and Lore, that whole sequence where it was like Mare's piecing together, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Fucking kid did it.
Dude. She
goes into the house and they're just like, when she goes into Lore's house and they're just like crying.
Yeah.
It's perfect the way that they did that. No words, nothing. They just ended the scene like that.
See, Eric, I thought for sure you were going to say you didn't like it because that final episode for me tied the whole entire series together. I knew exactly what every single thing was for.
Yeah. Like that's how you end a series.
Yeah.
There was no loose ends. I think maybe there's one thing that was probably answered, but I just wasn't paying attention. But other than that, like, I wasn't sure who, like, from the first episode, who was the creeper? Who was that supposed to be? Like,
I don't know. That I don't know.
I didn't really understand that one, but
I meant more theme wise for me. Like the final episode made it clear as day that the message of that show was about parents and their children.
Yeah. Or I just took it as everyone was trying to protect. Yeah, you're right. No, that was perfect.
There's like thematic story besides solving the crimes is dealing with the trauma of losing her son.
Yeah.
Right.
We also just get to but we dealt with that through that therapy stuff and vague flashbacky shit. Then this one was all in like the whole live part of the series that we don't really see is like a family trying to protect their kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like real time.
And then it's like, but the finale too, it tied in like it's the family trying to protect their kid. But then once that's all tied together and you go back and think about everything else, it's like even Evan Peters had that really deep conversation with his mom in one of the episodes. And it's like, why was that really in there? Because it really didn't make sense if they were just going to kill off his character, right? So like as it goes on, that conversation doesn't make sense. Now it makes sense because like that's a mom and her son.
Right.
And it's the same thing with like Erin and her baby. Like Dylan came and gave money and was like, oh, her mom. Like there were these little things where they were showing like the parent. It was really all about the relationship parents had with their children.
It's the same thing with Mare's grandkid. She's like, it doesn't matter what doesn't matter where he ends up as long as he's safe.
Yeah.
And so
I honestly,
she's willing to do whatever she can to make sure that the baby's okay. I mean, that's why she planted the drugs on the son's ex.
Mm-hmm.
It was all to protect the grandson.
Yeah. I honestly would have gave it like 7, 8 out of 10 until the finale. And then I saw the finale and I was like, yeah, it's like a 10 out of 10.
Oh, you mean the
It's a
entire
really good
series?
show. Yeah.
That's an ending to a show. But also that's easier to do with those shorter things because like they don't have to worry about multiple seasons and more building.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
But it still was a masterpiece of what it was trying to do.
At first,
I really hope they don't give a second season though. Like
I don't think so.
They don't, because you know how when a show does really well, even though they planned for it to end, sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, money."
Yeah, but HBO has and like in general, there's like a long history of limited run shit, like TV movies, basically, but not like that a literal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
any episode. Yeah.
I was gonna say the same could be said for the show that Jake and I watched, Broadchurch. Like, no one really thought there was going to be a season 2. But they kind of pulled it out of their ass, but it wasn't bad, so no one really cared.
Broadchurch just went from crime drama to court drama, like a fucking 18-hour episode of or 20-hour episode of Law and Order.
Yeah,
significantly better because it's all about one case, 1.5 cases.
I mean, they did it well because it was like the court case was about, the first season. And then there was also like one mystery that you also wanted solved. So they kind of kept you on 2 different stories to fill you in, to keep you engaged. I don't want them to do that with, it's a fucking, the murderer is a kid. Like, you don't want to, how much more.
But I think they kind of did do that. Like the whole time you're like, oh, like that's why I said, that's why the finale hit me so hard, I think, because the whole time you're like, this is a murder show. This show is a murder show, a murder show, a murder show. And like I said, like I pulled from it that it's really not. It's about family,
Mm-hmm.
That's just good writing,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fantastic.
To be the literal aspect of the movie. You kind of want your theme to be something that you're translating in the undertones of the movie, which nailed it. I think they really tied it up real nice. The only thing that I'm missing is from episode 6. Who was the blonde girl that helped burn the diaries?
Aaron's best friend.
Yeah. And then there's like a whole sequence where DJ's not teenage dad chases her down in a car and holds her at gunpoint and like threatens her and does all this shit. And then the next thing we see is just like she's in the police station cooperating with the police. And what the fuck happened there? They like abducted her. And then they just never did anything with that. It was like a dramatic sequence for drama's sake.
Yeah. Was that the sequence that was leading up into Dylan finding out that he wasn't the dad?
Maybe. It was tied together with Mare's grandson that she was in the legal battle with, the mother.
Yeah.
She falls asleep while he's in the tub. They were cut in together. Like this kid and the fear that doesn't pan out, where it's like, oh, he might drown in the tub because she's...
Dude, that was freaking me the fuck out. I was like, bro, what is this right now?
See, and that's why I said you guys made fun of me for the cinematography, but like literally on point. It was literally on point.
Nailed it. But I think they did this whole action scene to just...
yeah, for nothing. Yeah.
Because it's harder to make that scene dramatic. It's easy to make it tragic. But if you're not going to kill the kid, it's hard to make the drama of just this kid is holding his breath in the tub. So they did it really well. But I feel like that's a scene where I guess like the outcome happens off camera, where it's like, oh, he learns that he's not actually the father.
Right.
But we don't see that. We only kind of get hinted at it. But he like chased her down in a car and held her at gunpoint.
I'm trying to remember, like, did he know, like, was that like...
Before he knows, kind of clearly.
Okay, so before he knows, but then what about, like, did he know about the diaries at that point?
Yeah, they had already burnt the diaries. So, like, because he was part of that team.
Yeah, they burnt the diaries in 5, right? Or 4?
I think it was in 5.
4.
4? Or maybe.
Well, the photo was. Oh yeah, you're right. The photo was in 6. So then they found the photo in 5.
She held on to she kept the photo secret.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really do wish it was bingeable because honestly, first of all, I'm bad with names as it is, but that's why I don't remember it because it's like.
But by the finale though, I was like, oh, that's Lore, that's DJ, that's Aaron.
Yeah, by the finale, but like now it doesn't matter.
I'm just like, I know now. I'm like, well, now I know everyone's fucking name.
Yeah, it takes me a season or 2 to get all the players down name wise. I know what they look like, but name wise, I'm just like, oh.
Oh, and there's a great chance you never meet her, but Lore looks incredibly like my mom.
Yeah?
Just oddly. Like almost same haircut. Also that like very thin kind of build.
Kind of freaked you out a little bit. You're like, am I...
I was sitting in my room. I was watching just like, did I murder someone? Did they cover that?
Are they coming for me? Like,
was I let out at an early age? No.
I let out at an early age.
No, I mean, do you think he gets tried as an adult or do you think he gets parole?
He's a kid.
Yeah, he'll be out in a year.
Well, we know the dad will. The dad confessed to murder, and then there's that scene where that doesn't make any sense. Where it's like he confessed to murder, and then Mare is like looking over evidence in the finale, and he's like, because he cooperated, he'll be paroled in a year. And it's like he confessed to murdering a child.
Yeah. Well, but also what I didn't understand was, so John's in jail because he covered it up, right?
Accomplice.
Right. But then technically isn't everyone else an accomplice too? Shouldn't Billy go to jail and shouldn't Lore go to jail? Because at some point they were all accomplices. They all knew.
Midwest, buddy. It's
I was just going to say that. They're not going to take everybody.
Just saying.
They're
not quite as Midwest as Youngstown where I'm from, but it's the Midwest.
You need to come up with some better fucking rules.
We got the murder. It's fine. It's
honestly though, the murder was something that I was like, were they trying to be like really realistic, or because I mean they should have went with like 3 years, 4 years. You know, I was like, that's such an odd sentence time.
I think
after 1, like that's insane.
Yeah. I was like, who is your lawyer? That was one thing where I was like, I remember being like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, I was watching it with them rewatching it with them when you guys texted me that we were about to film this, and that scene pretty much just happened. So once again, I was like, 1 fucking year? Like, and they don't even say that. It's just led to assumption. What they actually say is next June.
Yeah.
He paroled next June, which means
it could be
a year.
It could be 6 months. It could be 5 months.
In order for it to be next June and make it reasonable, it has to be like July when this is going on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're all wearing coats and shit.
So
like October, and he's going to be out in like 16 months.
Dude. This guy just saved his whole family and he's getting out in 6 months.
That he failed at saving his whole family.
Well, whatever. His brother's safe. I'm sure everything will be fine.
They did catch me too. I like literally thought that it was going to be like fluffy at the end.
I thought the whole fucking episode was going to be about like Billy and John going to jail and that John was the killer. And I was like, dude, this is going to fucking blow.
Well, that's why I texted right away. I was like, yo, did you guys watch Mare? Did you watch Mare? Because I saw it and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Once she went to the old dude's house, I was like, fuck, what are we missing? And then it was just like building and building. I was like, what the fuck? And then it was really good because it was basically a character that was right there the whole time. You just weren't expecting it at all.
I expected it.
Also fed a couple signs.
You see.
You know what? Yeah, you expected it, but you never said that on the podcast.
No, I never said he was the killer, but I've been saying since the camera linger that something was up. I said it.
Bruh,
they
the
lingered for too long for
anything.
no reason. Yeah, but the kid was just watching TV. He had nothing to do with the scene, nothing. And the camera lingered on him for no reason at all. I was like, something's going on.
That dinner scene, I was thinking when they were showing signs of something being wrong and they tried to cover it up with the whole cheating thing.
Yeah.
I like looking back, it's like most kids don't like beat the shit out of other kids with lunch trays because their father's cheating. That seems to be like a bit more intense.
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't even think about that.
Cafeteria scene that serves no other purpose besides show that he's an angry little boy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're now Jake's like, I knew the whole fucking time.
Jake was like, if I would have watched, I would have called it in that episode. That was like the third episode too, right? Some shit.
Something. Yeah.
Not to brag, but I called who was Gossip Girl on episode 1. So
you know what? I got to tell you, that's nothing special because I thought, here's the thing though, they psyched you out in Gossip Girl because I thought it was Dan too. And then like season 2, I'm like, nah, it's not him. It's not Dan.
Hold for Everything podcast.